Welcome, dear little dreamers, to the boundless, whispering realms of Dreamland Tales. Tonight, we embark on a journey into the heart of a story spun from moonlight and dreams, a tale of resilience, kindness, and the transformative power of hope. Settle deep into your pillows, close your eyes, and let the magic of Cinderella unfold around you, like the petals of a magical rose blooming in the silent garden of your imagination. Once upon a time, in a kingdom nestled amidst rolling hills that shimmered like emeralds and rivers that sparkled like diamonds, lived a young girl named Ella. She was known for her gentle spirit, her radiant smile that could brighten the darkest of days, and a heart as pure as the crystal waters of a hidden spring. Ella's childhood was a tapestry of warmth and love, woven with threads of laughter and shared dreams. She and her mother spent their days exploring the secret corners of their sprawling garden, whispering secrets to the ancient oak trees that stood sentinel at its edge, and baking sweet treats in their cozy kitchen, the air filled with the comforting scent of cinnamon and vanilla. But alas, the fleeting nature of happiness cast a shadow over their idyllic world. Ella's mother, her spirit as gentle as a summer breeze, fell ill, her laughter fading like the echo of a distant song. The warmth that had filled their home grew cold, and the joy that had danced in their eyes was replaced by a deep sorrow. With a heavy heart, Ella's father, seeking solace and a mother for his beloved daughter, remarried. He chose a woman of noble birth, a widow with 2 daughters of her own. But beneath her elegant facade, the new stepmother harbored a heart as cold as the winter wind, her ambition as sharp as a shard of glass. Ella's stepsisters, Anastasia and Drizella, inherited their mother's vanity and cruelty. They were spoiled and selfish, their laughter sharp and mocking, their eyes filled with envy. They saw Ella as a rival, a threat to their own selfish desires, a reminder of the kindness they lacked. Ella's father, blinded by his grief and consumed by his new marriage, failed to see the cruelty that unfolded within his own home. He was lost in the shadows of his sorrow, unable to perceive the darkness that had crept into his life. Ella was relegated to the role of a servant, forced to perform the most menial tasks, her hands calloused from scrubbing floors, her face smudged with soot from cleaning the fireplace, her spirit weighed down by the burden of her sorrow. She was given only rags to wear, her beautiful dresses replaced with tattered garments that offered little protection from the chill of the castle's stone walls. She slept in the dusty attic, her bed a pile of straw, her dreams haunted by the memory of her lost happiness, her nights filled with the silent tears of a broken heart. She was often found near the hearth, covered in cinders, earning her the cruel nickname of Cinderella, a constant reminder of her fallen state. Despite her hardships, Cinderella's spirit remained unbroken, her kindness a beacon of light in the darkness that surrounded her. She found solace in the company of her animal friends, the mice who scurried through the hidden passages of the castle, their tiny voices whispering words of comfort, the birds who sang sweet melodies in the garden, their songs carrying her hopes on their wings, and the squirrels who chattered secrets in the ancient trees, their tales filled with the wisdom of the forest. They were her confidants, her companions, her only source of comfort in a world that had turned cold. One day, a royal messenger arrived at the house, bearing an invitation that sent ripples of excitement through the household, a spark of hope in the midst of their dreary existence. The king's son, the handsome prince, was holding a grand ball at the palace, a celebration to which all the eligible young ladies in the kingdom were invited. The prince hoped to find a bride, a woman of grace and beauty, a woman whose heart resonated with his own. Cinderella's heart fluttered with a spark of hope, a flicker of a dream that had long been buried beneath layers of sorrow. She imagined herself dancing with the prince, escaping her dreary existence, finding a moment of joy amidst her sorrow. But her stepmother and stepsisters, their faces twisted with envy and malice, mocked her dreams, their laughter echoing through the halls like the cawing of crows. "You go to the ball," they sneered, their voices dripping with sarcasm and disdain. "You're covered in cinders, your hands are rough from scrubbing floors, and you have nothing to wear. You'd be a laughingstock, a disgrace to the royal court." They left for the ball, their carriages laden with finery, their hearts filled with selfish ambition, leaving Cinderella behind, her dreams shattered, her heart heavy with disappointment, her eyes filled with unshed tears. Cinderella retreated to the garden, her sanctuary, her refuge from the cruelty of her family. She sat by the old wishing well, its waters reflecting the twilight sky, her voice a whisper in the gathering darkness. "Oh, if only I could go to the ball," she sighed, her voice filled with longing, her tears falling like dewdrops on the petals of the roses that surrounded her. Suddenly, a shimmering light filled the garden, a radiant glow that illuminated the ancient trees and the whispering flowers. A kind old woman appeared before her, her eyes twinkling like stars, her smile as warm as the summer sun, her voice as gentle as a lullaby. "Don't cry, Cinderella," she said, her voice filled with compassion and understanding. "I'm your fairy godmother, and I'm here to make your dreams come true, to weave a thread of magic into the tapestry of your life." Cinderella's eyes widened with wonder, her tears replaced with a spark of hope, a glimmer of magic in the midst of her despair. Her fairy godmother, with a wave of her hand, transformed Cinderella's tattered rags into a gown of shimmering silk, adorned with pearls that gleamed like moonlight and lace as delicate as a spider's web, a dress that shimmered like starlight, a dress that was fit for a princess. On Cinderella's feet appeared delicate glass slippers, sparkling like dewdrops in the morning sun, their brilliance illuminating the garden, their magic whispering promises of dreams come true. Cinderella gasped, her breath caught in her throat, her eyes filled with awe. She had never seen anything so beautiful, so magical, so utterly enchanting. "Now, you can go to the ball," said her fairy godmother, her voice filled with gentle encouragement and a touch of playful mischief. "But remember, the magic is fleeting. It will wear off at the stroke of midnight. So, you must leave the ball before then, or you will return to your rags, and your dreams will fade like the morning mist." Cinderella promised to remember her fairy godmother's warning, her heart filled with gratitude and excitement. With another wave of her hand, the fairy godmother transformed a plump pumpkin into a magnificent carriage, its wheels gleaming like polished gold, its interior lined with velvet cushions, a carriage fit for a queen. The mice were transformed into elegant white horses, their manes flowing like silken ribbons, their hooves clicking like the beat of a royal drum. A rat became the coachman, his tail twitching with anticipation, his eyes gleaming with a mischievous glint. Cinderella climbed into the carriage, her heart filled with joy and anticipation, her dreams taking flight like a flock of birds soaring into the dawn. When Cinderella arrived at the palace, the grand ballroom was filled with music and laughter, the air thick with the scent of perfume and the sound of whispered conversations, the room alive with the energy of 1,000 dreams. But as Cinderella stepped into the room, all eyes turned to her, their gazes drawn to her like moths to a flame. She was the most beautiful girl at the ball, her grace and elegance radiating like a beacon of light, her presence filling the room with a sense of wonder. The prince, captivated by her beauty and charm, approached her, his eyes filled with admiration and a spark of recognition, as if he had seen her in a dream. He asked her to dance, and they moved together across the ballroom floor, their steps as light as the falling snow, their movements as fluid as the dance of the wind through the leaves. They danced and danced, lost in each other's eyes, their conversation flowing like a gentle stream, their laughter echoing like the tinkling of silver bells. Cinderella had never felt so happy, so free, so truly alive. She almost forgot her fairy godmother's warning, her heart filled with the magic of the moment, her dreams taking flight on the wings of joy. But as the clock began to strike midnight, the first chime echoing through the grand hall like a distant warning, Cinderella remembered her promise. With a start, she pulled away from the prince, her eyes filled with regret and a hint of panic. "I must go," she said, her voice trembling with sadness and urgency. She turned and ran from the ballroom, down the grand staircase, her silken gown billowing behind her like a cloud of stardust, her glass slippers clicking softly on the marble steps. In her haste, she lost one of her glass slippers on the stairs, the delicate shoe falling from her foot and landing with a soft thud on the polished marble floor. The prince, heartbroken and confused, picked up the slipper, his eyes filled with a desperate longing, his heart pounding with the fear of losing her forever. He was determined to find the mysterious beauty who had stolen his heart, the woman who had vanished like a dream at the stroke of midnight. The next day, the prince, his heart heavy with longing, sent his messengers throughout the kingdom, carrying the glass slipper, searching for the girl whose foot fitted perfectly. They visited every house, every cottage, every castle, their voices echoing through the streets as they announced the prince's quest. Cinderella's stepmother and stepsisters, their faces flushed with excitement and greed, tried to squeeze their feet into the slipper, their toes contorting in vain, their heels straining against the delicate glass. But the slipper was far too small, its delicate form refusing to accommodate their clumsy attempts, its magic recognizing only the true owner. Finally, the messengers arrived at Cinderella's house, their hearts filled with a sense of weary resignation, their voices hoarse from repeating the prince's proclamation. Cinderella's stepmother, her face twisted with a mixture of fear and anger, tried to hide Cinderella, locking her in the dusty attic, hoping to keep her hidden from the prince's search. But the mice, loyal to their friend, led the messengers to the hidden chamber, their tiny voices squeaking directions, their nimble paws guiding the way. Cinderella stepped forward, her eyes filled with a quiet dignity, her heart filled with a mixture of hope and trepidation. The prince who had followed his messengers recognized her instantly, his heart leaping with joy, his eyes filled with love and admiration. He had found the beautiful girl he had danced with at the ball, the woman who had captured his heart and filled his dreams. With a gentle touch, the prince's messenger placed the glass slipper on Cinderella's foot. It fit perfectly, as if it had been made for her alone, its magic recognizing the true owner, its brilliance illuminating the room. The prince, his eyes filled with love and admiration, knelt before her, his voice filled with sincerity and devotion. Cinderella and the prince were married in a grand celebration, a wedding that filled the kingdom with joy and hope, a celebration that echoed through the hills and valleys, a testament to the power of love and kindness. Cinderella, with her kindness, her grace, and her unwavering spirit, became a beloved princess, a symbol of hope for all who dreamed of a better life, a beacon of light in a world that often seemed dark. Her stepmother and stepsisters, witnessing Cinderella's happiness and the love that surrounded her, finally understood the error of their ways. They learned that true beauty lies within, in the kindness of one's heart, and that cruelty only breeds sorrow. They sought Cinderella's forgiveness, and she, with her gentle spirit, forgave them, offering them a chance to share in her happiness. Cinderella and the prince ruled the kingdom with wisdom and compassion, their love a guiding force, their hearts filled with a desire to create a world where kindness and justice prevailed. They built schools and hospitals. They opened their doors to the poor and the needy. They fostered peace and harmony throughout their land. They also built a beautiful garden filled with all the flowers that Cinderella loved, a place where she could find solace and peace, a reminder of the magic that had brought them together. And they often told the tale of the glass slipper, a story that reminded everyone that dreams can come true, that kindness and courage can overcome any obstacle, and that true love is the most powerful magic of all. And so, dear little dreamers, remember that kindness is a treasure more precious than any jewel, that courage can overcome any obstacle, and that true love is the most powerful magic of all. May your dreams be filled with the magic of glass slippers, the warmth of true love, and the joy of happily ever after. My dear little dreamers, as the night sky wraps around you like a warm hug, close your eyes and drift off into a peaceful sleep. May your dreams be filled with magic, kindness, and adventures of your own. Good night, sleep well, and I'll see you again soon for another Dreamland tale.